being my father, you can advise me. So I want to discuss with you so that you help me, give me some advice. And I see you also that you have also gotten married, you went through relationship and all that, so you can help me. Then I will help you. Apart from that, I will not pick a phone and call everybody and ask you, is there somebody in your life? There are some people I call them. In fact, there are some people I've called them one-on-one. I want to see you. And I'll ask you, is there somebody in your life? What, because maybe I had a vision or something about you that prompted me. But apart from that, I've made a general declaration that, okay, now if you need counsel, you must do what? Come. So you must take initiative and then go. Okay. So in this case, the person told me what my fault was. And I said, oh, I'm sorry, but this is why I did it. So now, and I said, henceforth, know that what I expect from you is that you will consult. That's all. Because I can't be monitoring. But you must, because there are many people, one eye cannot enter into everybody's heart and everybody's home. It's impossible. I don't know how you can do that. Then, when listening to his response, accept your fault if you are at fault. It's also very difficult. Accept it. Accept your fault. So as we go along, we grow in many respects. We grow in many ways. And we don't know it all. So we are always growing. And when you accept what you did, you accept your mistakes, then you can improve upon your life. And then add it to what you must do. Then, Jesus said the next step, what about if the person doesn't want to hear you? You know there's an issue. You approach the person says, no, there's no issue. But the person's attitude is showing that there's an issue. But the person says, there's no issue. Jesus said, involve one or two people. Involve one or two of the brethren. Go to the person and say, I think there's an issue because of A, B, C, D. Let the people become witnesses that this is what transpired. So they've all heard there's no issue. Then you will see that the person will maybe be doing the same thing. Jesus said the next step is inform the church, meaning the leadership. Let them come in and solve the problem. You know, there's something like, okay, I'm going to tell the leader so that he calls the two of us and then they will settle the matter because it's beyond us. We've tried to settle it. So I'm lodging a complaint. So and so has a matter with me. So let so and so come. Let me come. Let's Jojo. Let's resolve the matter. And Jesus expects that at that point the matter will be resolved. He said after that point, if the matter is still persisting, regard the person as an unbeliever. That's very dangerous. Because he went on to say that whatever you bind is bound. If the church regards you as an unbeliever, it means they are binding you. Whatever you bind is bound. They are binding you. Now, when that happens, it's dangerous for your life. Especially when you come to partake of communion, because the church has withdrawn its protection, because it's like now they regard you as an unbeliever. You are not part of us. Because you don't want to forgive. What at all has a person done to you that you can't forgive, even when the thing was brought before the leadership? I still say, no, well, I stand where I stand. I can't forgive. Then, okay, after you have made some rules for yourself, adjust your lifestyle. You must make some adjustments. It also helps in resolving conflicts. Okay, there's a saying that what cause? He said you don't have to expect a different result if you don't change what you sow. A different harvest if you don't change what you sow. So now you must adjust your lifestyle. There are some people that you must know that, okay, when it comes to this person, this is how I will behave. It's not wrong. Not that you are doing that out of anger. You are doing that not to hurt the person. Because let's say this person has a unique problem, okay, and no matter how you conduct yourself, the person will still find fault. There are people like that. It doesn't matter how you conduct yourself. If you are quiet, they will say, why are you too quiet? If you talk, they will say you talk too much. If you walk fast, they will say, hey, you are going ahead of us. If you lag behind, they will say that, oh, you are lagging behind. Like, you don't know how to please such a person. So, you must decide. Now, okay, when it comes to this person, I'll avoid the person for the sake of peace. There are some people you must avoid. Paul said, mark those who cause divisions amongst you and avoid them. In 2 Timothy 3:5, he listed some people. He said, from such withdraw yourself. So it's not wrong to withdraw yourself from people. How you get to it? But it should be based on you helping the person, not you being angry. There are certain things that you can say that I will never, for instance, there was somebody I was in a car with. Then I went to the laundry to pick my things, and the person was in the car. And when I picked my things from the laundry, because the things I wear to church, I take them to laundry. Because the washing machine, I don't want it to mess it up. They know how. So when I went for the things for the laundry, the person remarked, Daddy. And the person saw the amount of money I paid. And the person made a remark to suggest that it's a waste of money. The person knows what I'm talking about. The person said, oh, it's a waste of money. And that, this money, if you are paying, it was even 20 cedis or so. So you are paying 20 cedis for them to watch. I can come and watch for you, give them the money. And I said that this person, I will never go to the laundry with him. I will not. And I will never take him along when I'm going to spend money. Do you know why? It will not help him. No, it will help him. Because he may get some ideas that are not correct. So, if the person is listening, the person will know why I have been doing certain things. Yes, I've not told him, but it's intentional. It's intentional. Yes, because, for instance, if let's say you come closer to me in my work, for instance, at the side, and let's say you are with me in my car, I go to the bank, then I come to the side, go to the bank. You usually see that maybe I will go to the bank and I will bring a lot of money from the bank. You see it. Okay. Now, if you can't handle that side, and then it makes you think that, so all this money, and I asked him for 10, he said he didn't have money. And if I see that it will worry you, I will never let you see me go to the bank, because the money I'm going for, the money is for a purpose, not for me, it's for a purpose. So you see that the decision I took is to help you. I'm talking about adjusting yourself to help somebody, not because you are angry. Because I don't want you to be having wrong assumptions. I get me. Wrong assumptions. So you can withdraw from people with a good reason to help the people. You can withdraw. If there's always conflict, you can withdraw for some time. Sometimes when my children are fighting, I'll tell them, okay, you go here. Don't play with each other. Don't play. Go. Then I'll just leave them. That you see within 2 minutes, They are playing a game. I say, this is so beautiful. That's the attitude that we must have. We must go to the children and learn how to resolve issues. When children are fighting, you would think they will never talk with each other again. The way they can be very, very, very vocal, and they can express their feelings, and they can talk as if they are so hurt. Then, within the shortest possible time, they are giggling, they are laughing, as if nothing happened. I mean, that's what we should covet. That we can come to a point where, yes, we will resolve issues, but the matter will be put to rest, permanent rest. There are some people, the matter is complicated when you attempt to resolve the issue. You see, the stance is even widened. The person recoils into his shell. There are some people, they are like the tortoise. They will recoil into their shell. And they will, with the mind that, so if I don't come and talk to you, you will not say, I've said this. You will not say, I've hurt you. Okay, so now let me withdraw. I won't come and talk to you. No, that's not how we resolve the conflict. Trust issues, the last one, is very important. It's not, you can resolve an issue, and you see, I know there are certain things that will automatically, it will affect trust. Okay, even though you have resolved the issue, it's going to affect trust. But as much as possible, we should be prepared, we should be able to forgive people and remove them off the hook. Know that indeed the person is sorry. Forgiving the person. Now, God doesn't have trust issues. God will, he said that let him ask God who gives liberally without reproach. James 1:5. If you lack wisdom, ask the Father who gives liberally without reproach. Okay? But human as we are, sometimes you know that when trust is broken, it takes time to repair. But be in the process of repairing the trust. But there are certain things that you will know that you can't trust the person. Not because, you see, it shouldn't be after, maybe after one thing the person does, so I can't trust you. Somebody may be unfaithful with your money once, but he will never do it again. I get me. So let's say you have been unfaithful with my money, then maybe I call you, we resolve the issue. Okay? So now that's it. It doesn't mean that I can't trust you with money again. In fact, even you, now I believe you can be better trusted. But if, let's say, it happens again and again and again, I must not put you to trouble. So what am I going to do? I'm going to stop giving you money to take care of you. It's for me. Because you need to work on your ability to handle trust, handle people, and handle people's things. Be a steward. Okay. So let me pause. Let me end here. Okay. So if there are questions, you can ask them, so that we can talk about them. These are practical things. So ask practical questions, so that we can have practical answers. Okay. The expectation you have of your partner that are realistic. Let me see if I can give some examples. Okay, let me first describe it before I give an example. For it to be realistic, number one, it must be achievable or attainable. It might be something that the person, all things being equal, the person must be able to do. The Bible says, where for time it ought to be teachers, you have need that one teaches you what is the fundamentals of the doctrine of Christ. Becomes that of need of milk and not solid food. Hebrews 5, verse 12 to 14. the apostle saw their behavior as, because he had an expectation of them, and he said, by this time you should have been able to do this. So you see, so the expectation becomes realistic when giving the person's resources, the person's what the person has at his disposal, he must be able to do this. That's attainable. So it becomes realistic. Number two, it might be something that is also suited to the person's nature, the person's temperament, okay, or the person's state or status. Okay, so as a Christian, I'm not asking too much from you if I tell you no sex before marriage. Are you getting me? That should not put you off. If that puts you off, it means you are not serious in marrying me, because you are supposed to even say, oh yes, it's true, and admit that you made a mistake. So my expectation of you was not unrealistic because you are a Christian. That's why Paul said, when for time you ought to be teachers. Or now, this thing you can do, you have the resources to do it. So why are you not doing it? So if I expect you to do it, I'm not being unrealistic because you have the resources to do it. So maybe it's either you are wicked or you are offended, because you can do it. And you must also have evidence that the person can do it. In that case, it doesn't become unrealistic. It becomes realistic. Then also, okay, you see, let's say that you are in a relationship, and then you tell the person, why don't you call me? You don't call me, and when I call you you don't pick. You are not being unrealistic. Are you getting me? You are being realistic because in the relationship, it's communication that drives the relationship. So okay, if you are in a relationship, I call you and don't pick, you don't also return my calls. What are you trying to suggest? I mean, is that a relationship that you, I mean, that's what you are asking yourself. Okay, you say we're in a relationship. Now I call you, you don't pick, and then you don't also return my calls. You don't send a message and say, well, I'm sorry, maybe I'm busy, I'll call you later, and follow through to call. But it becomes unrealistic if, let's say, you expect the person to call you every day, like 5 times a day. We're in exam week. You don't think about that. You still expect me to be calling you an exam week, expect me to be hanging out. And when I complain that I can't because of exam, you say that I am what. You are rather being unrealistic, because exam week you must give me the freedom to focus on my books. Or let's say you complain that, oh, this person doesn't like calling. Okay, why? Because when I call and we only talk for 3 hours, then he said he was tired. 3 hours. 3 hours, he said he was tired. So you are rather being unrealistic. So there are instances that a person can be unrealistic, and you know that, oh, this one there is, you are being unrealistic. Yeah, I tell people that communicate that it's not it's calling is not the only form of communication. So messaging, but some people, unless maybe you call them on the phone, they will say you have not communicated the whole day, but you have communicated. You have texted, you have messaged the person. At least you get to hear of each other. That's what is important. Because sometimes you will notice that the reason why you can talk for 1 hour is because you have time. A time will come where you will see that you are working. You can't have the luxury of time to talk about 1 hour, for 1 hour. You come back from work, you are tired. You talk and then you sleep through. That's also natural. Well, the difference is just like man and woman. The difference between man and woman. Okay. Essentially, they are similar but different. So, you know, ego, ego, and pride, sometimes they are used interchangeably. When we say, "I'm proud of you," or "Oh, you make me proud," or let's say, "the pride of Ashanti," it's all about ego. What makes Ashanti walk with the shoulder up high? Okay, so the pride of Ashanti, maybe you say, "Oh, Otunfo is the pride of Ashanti." Okay, now that's what makes them boost. Okay, or let's say, "Oh, this man is a pride of his father." That's what makes the father boost. So it's a healthy form of pride or, or ego. Then we have pride, which is, when we talk about pride, we are talking about what the Bible calls self-conceited, where your rating of other people uh, compared to yourself, you also have a sense of a sense that you are more important, and the other person is not, or the other person is not worthy to relate with you on a certain platform. That is a definition of pride. Is something that's very difficult uh, to describe. But when you see it, you see it. When you have it, you will not see it unless you are prompted, either by God or by people. But when you have it, people will see. It's like beauty. Beauty is seen by others, not you yourself, unless maybe you look into a mirror. Okay? So people will tell you, "Oh, you're beautiful," but you will not see. So pride is very subtle. Now, some people label people as proud. Sometimes it's funny. For instance, people sometimes the way people walk, people will say they are proud. When you are tall and you walk in a intimidating way, when you are coming, it's like you are coming to beat somebody. People think you are proud. When you are outspoken, people think you are proud. When you insist on what belongs to you, people think you are proud. All these things are not pride. They are not pride. See, pride is your estimation of others in relation to yourself. And you know how you reach others. There are some people, for instance, when they see people, they look down on them. And they think that they don't measure up. So who are you? You know, like the woman said, "Who are you, a Jew, to ask me water?" Because they didn't respect the Samaritans, and they also didn't respect the Jews. So when you look down on people and say that you are not worthy to come close to me or to come in within my circle of influence, you don't qualify. That is pride. When you can't relate with people as they are human beings, but you have to look down on them, that's pride. Then ego too, maybe like the same, but ego is really, it's more inside. You know, it's like a feeling of importance. When you are too egoistic, it means that you have an overblown sense of importance. It's overblown. You think you are too important. There are some people, for instance, who think that uh, they are indispensable in your life. I get to it. They think they are indispensable in your life, and that unless they are involved in your life will not work out. But that is we can see that is pride. That is pride, because what is the basis? Is it God who has said it? If God said it, then that's not pride. That's true. But if it's out of self-importance, some people have that Messiah complex. Messiah complex. That's also pride. That they are the Messiah. Okay.
Okay, Daddy, when you were teaching, you said when there is conflict, you shouldn't yield. Like you should let your feelings be known to the other person. Um, I read this book by Dr. Dale Carnegie, and he said that
Doctor.
Dale Carnegie.
Okay.
Then he said that in resolving a conflict with someone, sometimes you have to play the full game. That's accept it and let the situation to be resolved. Yes. So, Daddy, please, how do you
Yeah.
combine them?
I think they may be different sides of the same coin. See, look, so I say that it's not. I say there are times when you will yield. In fact, the Bible even talks about that. You know, for instance, the Bible talks about a situation where when you are slapped on the right, you must turn the left. Then Paul also said in 1 Corinthians 6 that why don't you rather allow yourself to be cheated? So why do you take somebody to court? Why don't you allow yourself to be cheated? Okay. But the same Paul in Galatians 2:5, he said that there were some people we did not yield submission to them for even 1 hour, lest the gospel be hindered. So you see that the same Paul is talking about two different things. So some people, you shouldn't yield to them. When you read Proverbs 26, verse 4 and 5, he said that, do not answer a fool according to his folly, otherwise you will be like him. Then the next verse says, answer a fool according to his folly, lest he will be wise in his own eyes. So there are times when you must yield. There are times when you must stand up to people. To know the difference is where the problem is. Because there are times when you must stand up to people for them to know that, no, what I won't take what you are doing. Because they may take you for granted. Especially when you are dealing with unbelievers. If somebody thinks that you are a pastor, so he wants to cheat you and take you for granted because he knows that, oh, you're a pastor. So, no, you must stand up to the person, let the person know. Put the thing right where the thing is. But let's say you are dealing with somebody who is a believer and maybe you know that, oh, let me just let go for the sake of peace, yield to the person, But you don't have to be losing your things to people because you are the peace-loving type. People are taking your land. You must take them to court. Report to the police. Let the police come in. You see, there are some people we deal with them according to law, and some according to love, and some law and love. So those who are outside, we deal with them according to law. There's no way you ask me to partner with you in anything. I will not tell you put it on paper. I will ask you to put it on paper. Whether you are whoever, I'll just say, let's put it on paper. That's all. I mean, it doesn't mean I don't trust you. But what about if neither of us is around? The people will speak. Yes. But for unbelievers, for instance, when you are dealing with them, you must always make sure that you deal with them according to the law. Be fair. Don't let them cheat you.
Okay. That is second question. That you see, one fundamental thing about human nature is that everybody has a temperament that makes him or her unique. And there is someone I know, when there is an issue, just a small tease, then this person is angry. And sometimes I just keep quiet when the situation is there, and later on I'll call the person on phone that, oh, I think you should do this when you meet the next time. But here's the situation where you tell the person there's some sort of defense mechanisms that pops up. Like a person tries to always explain, oh, this is why I did, this is why I did. Then I'll say, oh, okay, then I think we can adjust things to this way. But it repeats itself, and the person is always angry. The person will just become angry, then she will leave the scene. So please, how do you handle such people?
Does the person also tease other people?
Yes. Yes.
The person does that.
Yes.
Okay. Well, then he has no basis to be angry, because like if you don't like to be teased, don't tease other people. Once you are teasing people, when it gets to your turn, don't be angry. But you see, one thing is that some people are too sensitive. When you are overly sensitive, usually there may be two reasons: pride or low self-esteem. When you are overly sensitive, there are people who are very, very sensitive. Fish. And sometimes people say it, oh, I'm very sensitive. It's not good. Because as a human being, you must be light-hearted. Not light-minded, but light-hearted. You must be able to take a joke. You must be able to take a joke. And you know that when we were in school, those who were easily offended, their nicknames that were teasing nicknames, it stayed. But those who didn't mind, it didn't stay. There are some people, even now, as we have become adults, on our old student platform, when you mention something that happened way back in school, they get so furious. It gets so angry. They are still sensitive. So we must grow out of that. But when you see that teasing somebody too is not bringing peace, then don't tease. So rather than letting the person change, then you rather change. Don't tease. When the person teases you, then tell the person that, look what you are doing. So if I also tease you right now, you'll get angry. But you know you are teasing me. So if I do something to you, you'll get angry. And maybe the person will change.
Daddy, please, my last question. I've realized that from my stay in the hostel from first year, I've realized that I'm using my first roommate as an example. There were times, he has times that he will talk with you. And there's time that he become quiet. When you ask him a question, it's as if no one is talking to him. And you didn't know that time too, he will take offense in you, let's say, trying to interact with him. So let's say you've come back, oh, how was class? How was the paper? But that time too, he wants to be quiet. So he'll bear that offense, oh, nani bofu, like, So I found a way to deal with him. So when I see that, I just don't talk. I'm just quiet in the room. When he brings up any discussion, then we all talk. But I'm the type, I easily make friends. So when I'm in the atmosphere and someone is around, I feel at least there should be some conversation. So, Daddy, please, how do you deal with such people? Because I realized that I have to move outside the room to find a new person because it wasn't helping me. It's like, sometimes it made me feel as if I'm worrying him too much. So I think if my uncle even came to this situation, then that was where he explained, oh, sometimes, and giving some flimsy excuses, sometimes I'm tired. And I was like, oh, but the times you talk to, aren't you tired? We are all tired. Yeah. So, Daddy, please, how do you deal with such people when you meet them?
Okay, I think what you said is that's just the way, like you have to avoid the person. There are some people, the way they shift from in between moods is so swift. Like from here they are lively. The next time they shift. There are mood swings that are normal. Okay, like for instance, that happens more in women than men. Mood swings. Some of them are not extreme. You will see that there are because the woman goes through a cycle every month, and there's certain things that you will see at certain points, in a cycle that she goes through. So, if it's a woman, you will see that there are times when she will not be in the mood to talk. And there are times when you can see that this time is not, and there are times when you start a joke, and then you will see that the other person is not in the mood for a joke. So you just keep your joke to yourself. Sometimes you are talking to somebody, and the person is looking at you like that. The person is busy in the mind. So many things to do, and the pressure from here, from there, and so the joke that you are saying, the person is like, okay. That one on the lighter side. But the extreme side where the person is not talking, like you talk, the person will not mind you, and there are other times the person too will be happy. You don't have a problem. He does. So to help him or her, you just avoid. Don't talk unless he wants to talk. then you join in. When you want to converse, you go find somebody else. When you come the room, you are all, you know, quiet, and then you sleep. You wake up. You know, when he feels like talking, then you talk with him. But don't go and worry him and say, because maybe there's nothing, there's no issue. Just that the person is that type who has not grown out of those swings. There's some people who don't grow out of those things, because no matter how tired you are, sometimes some people you can't say no to them. I mean, your roommates. After your roommates, even if you are tired, you will just at least tell them something that, oh, I'm tired. Like somebody was telling me that they went for all night, and they came and they were so tired, and this other person, that other person, when they came, he had just gotten up. Then he was trying to show them something on the phone, and he was trying to get them to talk. And he told him that, oh, please, I'm tired. I'm feeling sleepy. I want to sleep. And then he slept. And the guy took offense. And I said, but why should he take offense? You should know that you are tired. You have slept all night. I've been awake all night. I'm not coming to sleep. And you still want to engage me, show me something on the phone. And even if you show me and I don't show interest, you are going to be hurt. Okay. All right. So,
Okay. Daddy, when you said something concerning drama or something, conflict in the family, your drama, Daddy, in a situation whereby conflict between parents made one of the children say something to the father, like something like, "Minya kwapa nanka, onya me papa, mimi who sem papa kawe," but still the man is alive. With this though, what should the parent do about what the child has said? Because I know, say, okay, Sema, you shouldn't take it that lightly, because words have power. Words have powers. It's with this, no. So muja maneka and I say, "Be ya currently." Omunja understand? I said they have to do something about it.
yeah, it depends on the age of the child. Now, if he's a child, like that one, the parents will have to maybe ignore, but correct that statement. Because maybe the child said it out of childishness. So as a parent, you are more matured, so you must overlook and cover him or her. So you get him to reverse the statement and all that. But if, let's say, he's an adult and then he said that, then it could mean a serious thing. And they will have to call him and sit down with him and resolve the issue. They shouldn't overlook it, because he's an adult. He knows what he's saying. And maybe he has come to that conclusion because of a compilation of different things. So they need to sit down. When you grow, when you get a certain point, you are no longer a child. You are a child of somebody, but you are not. You are also an adult. And you should be treated as such. So they have to call him, sit him down, then resolve the issue. Okay, resolve the issue. That's what they should do. If let's say he said something like that, and it pained the father, and the father maybe also said something against him and all that. When they resolve the issue, they should revoke. Each of them should revoke what he said against the other. Because the child said it knowing very well what he was saying and why he was saying it. So there's a need for them to call him and sit him down and resolve the issue. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, maybe this is the last question. Okay, the after then.
Okay, please, with regard to the question NK asked, um, can you also decide to uh, do to do to him what he does to you? As in the case of he's happy, so he's ready to talk, and he expects me to also talk back. He's sad, he expects me not to talk, so I should let him be. So then at that very moment, I might not tell him directly that, okay, this is what you do and I don't like it, so try to put things right so that we can live peacefully. So then at that very moment where he's very happy and expects me to reply, then I also decide, okay, I'll not talk. So then that very moment where he's sad, like, okay, let me use the happy and he's ready to talk, then I also decide to keep quiet. Giving him signs that this is what you're doing is not right. So maybe if you have a root cause for your behavior, then talk to me, then we settle it. Can I also do that?
Yes, yes. You see, sometimes people, you will know whether you see the person will have a feel first hand of what he's doing. For the very first time, he may know the implications of, because now he's childish and self-centered, so he thinks the whole world revolves around him. When he is sad, the whole world must be sad. When he is happy, that's how children are, right? So then, when the person sees that, no, the world is larger than you, bigger than you, and other people too can affect your world, it may send a message to him. But you know what you are doing, you know, so you let him have a taste of the things that he has been doing. And he will see how unpleasant and how difficult it is to live with such a person. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Please, you also, while you were talking about the personality types and how they affect resolution of conflicts, what if you know of an elderly person, let's say me, and maybe an elderly person, let's say someone you're close to, let's say your teacher or lecturer or something, and the person is that introvert in terms of personality and keeps a lot of things to himself instead of bringing them out, then you solve. So maybe you do something wrong, instead of coming to you, you are even young, so at least the person should be able to come back to you or something here, but or maybe let you know what wrong you've done, but it's not that way. The person keeps holding offense, then bam, it explodes. Then you realize that the things this person is doing is not helping. Let's say the lecturer does this to other students, and let's say I'm at the other side. I know that this is why the lecturer is doing this. Maybe because of his personality, he holds on to things. Maybe I feel I can help because I know how to, but because the person is older than me, or the person is older than what should we do? And you are young. I can't go to you and like some things you do. Maybe you should rather speak out. Please, I don't know if you get me right.
So let's say the lecturer is holding things in himself against the student, and he hasn't told the student what the student has done, but maybe the student can detect from his action that maybe you have done something against me or something. Is that not the case?
Okay, okay, let me put it this way. Like maybe you are always with this. It's a lecture. Let's say a teacher. It's not something that happens. I'm just creating a scene. It's like a teacher. Then maybe if a student does something wrong, you should be able to reprimand. Try to chastise the student or correct the student. This teacher will not do that. Rather keep things to himself. Then maybe he keeps piling up the offenses. Then one time, then you just bring all the anger on you. Then maybe you realize that I'm also a student in the class, and I've realized that this is what the teacher has been doing. He holds things to himself. Then sometime, then bam, he explodes and he's killing. He just brings out all the wrath. And that's how he behaves. Okay, and from today's lessons, I realized that it's maybe attached to the person's personality traits, and the person should rather be open if there is something wrong someone has done, she'll be able to, But me, let's say I'm a student, I'm young, and I can't go to the teacher trying to correct him or trying to teach him how to relate. So what do I do? Seeing that I can help, but I'm young. Please, I don't know.
Okay, then you must rather talk to your friend. See, sometimes maybe if you can't go to the teacher to let him know how his action is impacting his student, maybe you can talk to your friend to take it in a stride and take heart and just know that it's one of those things and not take it too much to heart, so that you solve the problem from the side of the friend. Now, if there's a friend of the teacher who you have access to, you can also alert him. Then he can talk to the teacher in his own language that the teacher will understand. That this is what your students are saying. But if there's no other way around it, then rather either you muster courage and go and tell the teacher, there's always a wise way of letting an elderly person know that there's a problem. You remember the woman of Tekoa, how she approached David, and how she was able to talk to David on behalf of Absalom. She used wisdom. So you must have the way you approach the elderly person. Sometimes you take what the student has done, and you rather talk about what the student has done, and expose how bad what he did was. Then before you talk to the elderly person and tell him, but just exercise patience for him, and all that, then he will know that you are reasonable. But if you just go and say, please, I want to advise you or something, he may not take it. He may not take it. Anyways, it's a bit dicey. Yeah. Okay, so last question.
Okay, please, I have a question on, can you please expound on the place of jokes, especially with someone who might have, certain information about what they are joking about? Do you consider their who they are before you laugh at such a joke, or you think whether they have certain meanings behind the joke? This is very off topic, but for example, if Sister Dani is to one day tell me, as I'm right now in the choir, like if she's tell me, oh, you really look out of place in the choir, is this something you are supposed to think about? Because this is your ministry. This is something God has called you to do. Do you think about it looking at the person's intentions, or you think about it knowing that the person is, just making a joke?
Okay, I think it depends on how the person said it. Sometimes people can say things in jest, like, okay, even you will know that the person was joking. But sometimes, okay.
Not necessarily. It was like maybe a passing statement.
Yes.
I'm just giving an example, so
yes.
It's not,
Yes. So maybe it was a passing statement, and the person made a statement. Okay, now, when the person made a statement, I'm saying that the way the person made a statement, you can even know whether the person was joking, or he was serious, or he was antagonistic, or maybe he was just pulling your leg. So somebody can say something, you will know that it's a joke. But somebody too can say something, you will know that this person, because maybe the way the person will call you, sit down. Say, I think that you are out of place in the choir. That one is not a joke. Or maybe the person will say, I took quiet here. Sometimes you see that the person is cracking a joke. But the Bible also makes allowance for people who cannot take jokes, because it said we should not You said we should avoid jesting and foolish talking. But there are people who can't take a joke. There's a friend of mine, for instance, when we were on campus, they used to, those of us from Kumasi, they used to call all Kumasi people Kumasiano. And they used to tease Kumasi people.
Even now.
Even now they do that. And so that friend of mine, anytime working with him and somebody something against Kumasi or Asante, he would get so furious. By the time I realized I would have worked on and left him. Then it was like, you are not patriotic at all. Or somebody is saying something against where you come from. And I say, am I the only Asante or the only Kumasi people in this Accra here? So can I fight the battle for Kumasi people? And if you say Kumasi people are like this, they used to say that we can't speak English, we can't do this. Asante men are boastful, they are this, they are that. Those things, they don't touch me because you know that they are generalizing a stereotype. Or they can say that if you are a gunman, a gunman, he will slap you, he will beat. They can say those things. It should not worry you. Okay, so there are certain things that have become jokes that are harmless. And there are some jokes that are also expensive. And that will get people worried. Okay, so if let's say you are teasing somebody about something that is natural on the person, whether it's a joke or you are laughing or, you are teasing the person, it's a negative light. So the person will be worried. That one should not be a joke. So a joke where you are talking about somebody's, maybe the person's nose. And that's teasing, right? Yeah. If the person is sensitive, it can worry the person. Because when I was in school, they used to talk about my nose. And they used to call me a big nose and all that. And I never, like, you will be calling me and I will just be watching you. I will not react. So they stop. And there was somebody too, they use his cheek to tease him. Some people, their head. You know how students behave. So those kind of jokes can be expensive. You can cripple somebody, and if the person is very sensitive, it can hurt the person.
Daddy.
No. Sorry. A big nose. and that's not the only thing. They call me all sort of things, but I didn't react. So you see, when you go to my old school now, the name they call me is Jomint. Nobody remembers all these things. They called me so many things. But because I was not angry, it didn't stay. Yes.
So, Daddy, are you saying that there should be a balance? Because, for example, if I know something about Winston, I will not use that thing in a joke even against Winston. For him to think that, because I know it, I'm using against Winston. So, should there be a balance between what should be deemed as frivolous and jovial?
Sure.
And what shouldn't be joked about, especially maybe a person's image, like how
Yes.
they look. Or
Yes. That one is an expensive joke. That's why I cited that example. Especially when you go to children, when you among children in schools, like primary schools, they are merciless when it comes to those things. They can tease you. Even sometimes your name, if your name is not common, they can be teasing you. They mention your name, everybody will be laughing. And all that. So some people will take offense. Even though it might be a joke. Some people will take offense. For instance, as I was talking about Prempeh College, us and Prempeh College, there's a rivalry between us. So I remember once I went to somebody's office, and then we were talking. It was a mining company, so we were talking, and then the person was asking me my background, and I mentioned So when I finished, he didn't say anything. Then his boss came and he said, "Oh, what he's good. I mean, what he's saying, he's very impressed. Just that, oh, Uncle School Papa and the hammy. When he said that, I said, "You are a manfu." Then I knew that he was an amanfu because it's a rivalry. So that one is not an offense. We all know that it's a friendly rivalry, something like that. It's not an offense. But if I should call somebody and I say, "You didn't go to a good school," I mean, the person may take offense. Then also you must know what the person you are dealing with. Maybe it's a joke that you joke with. Like, let's say on the pastor's page, for instance, sometimes we tease one another with the school with the schools they attended. Sometimes somebody will write an English, somebody will say, "This one there is so and so school."
That's
but we all know that it's a joke. But if, let's say, we should bring it outside, somebody may even take offense. Okay, so those of us who went to this school, then it means that we don't count. And over Christ, it's only was and Louis and all these other schools. You read those who went to this school. But it's not. It may be a joke. I get to be. So there are certain things that you can see that it's a joke, but others are expensive jokes. Like you said, a person's image, as much as possible, especially when you are dealing with a woman, you never comment on a woman's image negatively. Never do that as a man. You will break her, you will hurt her. And never tell your fiancée that, "Oh, yeah, I want you to work hard so that you can develop this or that. Or I want you to, or if you can get some shape here, shape there." No. It's very bad. Don't comment on a woman's appearance. It's bad.
Daddy, really?
Yes, it's bad. Yeah, no matter what. You see, a woman can talk about you as a man. A woman, maybe your wife can tell you, "Hey, your stomach is coming." But but you should not tell your wife that. She will, if you tell her that, she will stand in the mirror for a long time, and she may be thinking, "Hey, what is she saying? So am I no longer attractive or this?" You don't know. I'm telling you. So never say that. Don't talk. But so as a rule, don't comment on things that are natural, that the person cannot do anything about. And don't say negative things about those things. They are natural. You are fair, you are dark. And there's nothing. You see, I taught my children that anything that is God-given is beautiful. Anything that is God-given is beautiful. And I told them that there's nothing like a big nose. It's better than a small nose. Or big eyes, better than small eyes. I say, no, it depends on what God gave you. Michael Jackson was given a flat nose, and his father used to tease him with a flat nose. That's why he went through plastic surgery. In fact, I was watching a documentary. They mentioned this fact, and they said that before he died, he had about 100 artificial nose. And they said that this part was off. There were only holes. And so sometimes he could not, he said you had to perform at a place or something. And no, I think it was an impromptu interview. He couldn't, because you have to fix something before he comes out. So he underwent so many surgeries because of what the father said about his nose. So those things, they will stick in people's minds. And people will start questioning whether they are really attractive to you, especially when you are going to marry a person, or let's say you've married a person. You've married a person. Okay? So what is this thing about? Hey, like somebody was saying something, and I told him that, look, you are digging your own grave. Because the person told the wife that, you know, as for me, I really wanted fair women. But it was because God spoke to me that I married you. Yes, he said, because God spoke to me that I married you, but my real taste is fair women. Yeah, I said you are digging your own grave because you are creating insecurity for your wife, and it's going to affect you later on. So there are certain things, no matter what, don't say them. Even when you are angry, things like don't talk about people's how they look, because you didn't create them and you can't create them. And how they look is natural, and it's not of their own making, and it's not bad. It's just natural.
Daddy, please, with the issue of some changes in the person's body, like maybe the stomach is becoming, Daddy, that one too, can't you tell the person? Because I'm thinking that there might be at times whereby the person might not be aware. So can't you draw the person's attention that because of this, like for instance, NS, like the stomach, Daddy, with that one too, is it wrong? Maybe you are with a woman, then the person has not even realized it. I think some of these things that can be maybe eating late at night, and that's.
See, yes, like you mentioned Ernest. You know, Ernest is a guy, and even at pastors' meeting, I tell people who have started getting this, I said, check it now, because there was a time I didn't have it. Now I have it. I'm trying to control it. So check it now before it's too late. Okay. And they don't take offense because we are, but if you do that with women, it's a different thing altogether. Because whether you like it or not, every woman, whether she's grown, they are always asking this question. When they are married, they are always asking this question in their minds. Am I still attractive to him? Yes. Are you still proud of my body? Because, like, let's say when you met her, she was not like that, but maybe giving birth or something like that, then you see that something, then you are drawing her attention to that. Okay, so if you want to, like Miles Monroe said something, he said that if you want to tell your wife to start exercising, you go and buy a pair of exercise kits and all that, and then let's say, let's start jogging, let's start walking, let's start checking our diet, let's so that it's not like you must, and then it's like it's like now I don't see you as attractive as I saw you when I first met you. That's the message you are sending. That is, a woman can tell you something like that. No big deal. When we watch our wedding videos, one time we were watching them, my wife said, "Eesh, now who feel?" He said, "Hey, now who feel?" Now I didn't take offense. But imagine if I was the one who said it. It would have meant many things. I get it. Because, okay, so now I'm not beautiful. But men, we know that we are not supposed to be beautiful. Okay, we are not ugly, but we are also beautiful. We are men. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. But women are beautiful. So when you talk about women's beauty, that's why even when they are old, they still want you to compliment their dressing, their appearance. If you don't like it, please don't talk. Just reserve your comments. If the hairstyle is not nice, just keep quiet. Don't just keep quiet. When it's nice, talk. When it's not nice, they say, say, what are you saying? Satan, you were a liar. I will never open my mouth. Yeah, yeah. So you have other precedents because, for instance, my wife knows the hairstyle that I always talk about and compliment, and I always tell her this is beautiful. She knows it. So if I've told you already, and you know that this one, the way I always talk about, you know. And sometimes I will tell her that we say I fatal pa when him dawayana a fatal pa. So if I say that, it means that if you do otherwise, then maybe you have seen a style that you like and you want to do it. But I will not also say that, oh, it's not nice. Because whatever it is, you are still nice. Are you getting me? Whatever it is, you are still nice. Maybe the only thing is that if, let's say, you marry a man who doesn't know maybe color combination. Because most women know color combination right from the time they are growing. So maybe a man is not fashionable as a woman. Okay, so the wife can tell the husband that, oh, this one is no, it's not nice. No, don't wear this one. Don't wear this one. This one is nice. This one is not nice. It will create no problems. You see, the problem it will create for the woman is not that she will be angry, but that she will be she will start looking at herself. And if you keep doing that, then you are sending a message. So if you keep saying that, then you are getting fat. You are getting fat. You are getting fat. You are getting fat. I mean, maybe she even knows she's putting on weight and she's even, worrying about it. Okay? So they are always asking you, how do I look? So, like, sometimes my daughters I'll tell them that whether you it's like this or like that, you are nice. Whether it's nice. Then they will never bring a thing I will say it's not nice. I'll say, oh, it's nice. I mean, let's just go. Let's move on. It's nice. No time for, and it's nice too. If it is bad, then you tell the person it's bad. Okay, so how? Okay. Now let me see. If you are married, okay, bend and let me see if it's okay. So if you bend, nothing is showing. So that's now it's nice. Okay, if you lift up your hand, nothing is amiss. That, but not saying that the dress is not nice or nice. I mean, allow the person to feel good in what he thinks is nice. Yes. Okay. All right. Okay, so last question.
Please, I want to ask, if someone is so sensitive or has extreme emotions, how does the person deal with that?
The person is so sensitive or has extreme emotions. Okay. First of all, the person must open up to the Lord, take it to the Lord. Now, there are certain things that are only symptoms. They are just symptoms of what is causing that. Sometimes what is causing that is rejection or loneliness. These two things, they cause many problems that we see in people, rejection and loneliness. Okay, so you can deal with that by asking God, what is the cause of this? And this is what I'm too sensitive, I'm hot-tempered, I'm too extreme, and all that, and start praying about it. Then I'll also recommend that you read books by Joyce Meyer. Joyce Meyer has the grace, I've read most of her books, Managing Your Emotions, Beauty for Ashes, a lot of other books, How to Enjoy Where You Are Going, where you are on the way to where you are going. And she is one person who is able to minister to the soul. Her ministration is because she was once like that. She had serious emotional problems, mood swings. Hers was extreme, you know. And her husband did a very good work because the husband provided some strength and support because she was very unstable. She would just one moment she would be nice, the next moment she would just flare up, you know. Then she would go and cry, and the husband would just be watching her, cool. And sometimes the husband will be firm and insist on something. Then she will cry and she will throw tantrums. He will not mind her. Then she will go and pray. Then Jesus will talk to her. So she has been through that. So she has very good, you know, she has a grace for the soul, how the soul can be put together. So I recommend her books. If you get any of her books, there's a book called Beauty for Ashes, a book on how to hear the voice of God, a book on leadership, a book on managing your emotions. There's so many of them. Joy, 8 things that steal your joy. He has written a book like that. I read that one too. When you read her books, you will see that you receive, or better still, you can also listen to some of the teaching that if you go on YouTube, you can locate a particular teaching that she has done that ministers to the soul by the topic. Sometimes you can just preach a message, how to be happy every day. And it's not an emotional teaching. She picks it, she has that grace. Apart from that, after opening yourself to the word of God and also staying in prayer, then also you have accountable partners, people who can always prompt you when you are going astray, prompt you when you are going astray. I know somebody who told me, she said, when you observe and you see that my face, I front my face, prompts me. It's not that I like frowning. That's how my face is. My people sometimes tell me that I front my face. So when you see that I front my face, just prompt me. Let me know that I've done that. So you will see that such a person who is your accountable partner, the person will just do something. Then you know that you have to change. Because there are some people, naturally, when you look at them, you can't approach them. Naturally, you can't approach them. Their face is not like when they are in a pensive mood. You might think that they are angry. They are not. I remember when we went to Prestia, the pastor said something. And when I came, I was asking myself, I wanted to find out, is that really? He said that this man, when you see him from afar, you'll be afraid to approach him. When you get close, you see that he's a very nice man. So I said, hey, then I have to check. So I asked my wife, I said that when I'm in a pensive mood, how does my face look like? Yeah, I'm a serious partner. And she said, yes, sometimes. I said, hey, because, and it's not conscious. Like when you are in a pensive mood, even when I'm listening to you, I saw myself in the mirror, listening to somebody, and I was like, and I looked in the mirror, then I said, hey, is that the face I'm putting up? Because this face, it was my face had frowned, but I was very interested in what the person was saying, very interested, and I was filling with my heart. So I was like, so from that time, sometimes I catch myself and I say, okay, let me straighten up, you know. So what he said helped me. So you can get people to prompt you, you know, when you are going to the extreme. You know, I heard Bishop Doug say that he's a very serious person. So his wife is a very free person around him, and the wife brings balance, and she lightens the environment when he's around because he's so serious. Some people can't even come close. But you see that when he picks the microphone, you can see that he's very jovial. But it's when he's in the pensive state, it's like you might think that it will be difficult to approach him, you know. But that's just the face. So when you see it like that, then sometimes you must stand in the mirror and make different faces. Yes, and see how you look like. So you must know when you smile how your face looks like. You must know it. You know, one day my daughter said that when I smile, you don't see my teeth. And I said, yes, because that's how my face is. When I smile, if I want to see my teeth, I have to open my mouth. When my wife smiles, you will just see her teeth. I get to me. That's because of her face, how the face is. So you must know all these things. Stand in the mirror, make the gestures. Sometimes I make gestures because when I'm preaching, there are gestures I make. I like to use my hands. So I have to stand in the mirror and see whether these gestures, this how. One day I remember I was teaching JHS. Then I had finished teaching and I went to the bathroom to urinate. When I got there, then I saw that my zip was open. Before I even opened the zip, I saw that the thing was open. But what helped me was that those days I used to dress, you know, like I always do, top and down, like not top and down, but with African